Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's fourth video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's fourth video. So day 10 is going to take us to around the 3rd of July. We'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe around a couple of weeks. And we're not going to show you a CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks because it has an update. I've been hanging around all morning waiting for today's update to show up, and so far no sign of it, so I don't know what's happened, but we are going to show you the Beijing Climate Centre, as a one-off for the next 40 days at the end of the video instead. There's always a way around these things, isn't there? So Beijing Climate Centre coming up at the end of the video. To just say what's happened on the channel so far today. So we released our 7 AM upload forecast at 7 AM. Unsurprisingly, we released the USA forecast as well. Very, very interesting forecast. Big heat wave for the northwestern part of America and even into Canada, can you believe, in the next few days. So have a look at that dangerous heat on the way for the western side of the states. And also the GMA seasonal update looking at July, August, September as well. So do check out all of today's videos that have been released so far. Please like, share, subscribe on all the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Before I get on with this video, I just got to say a happy birthday to my good friend Shiram. It's Shiram's birthday, so happy birthday to Shiram. Shiram has been with me, pretty much for the past 20 years on the Weather Outlook Forum first, and then through GavsWeatherVids. So Shiram is a channel member. Shiram donates through PayPal supporter. Shiram is a patron as well, and also Shiram has given super chats as well. So absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Shiram for all of the support. I am having a lovely birthday, my friend. Happy birthday to you. Everybody say happy birthday to Shiram in the comments. Thank you so much for doing that, and thank you so much, Shiram, for all of the support over all of these years. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. Right, okay, let's get on with it then. So we're going to start off by having a look at the central England temperature. So here it is. The seat is now gone sub 16 for the first time this month. We're now standing at 15.9. Which is still an anomaly of 2 degrees above average, so still really warm. Provisional up to yesterday, 22nd of June. But that's gradually ticked down, hasn't it? It'll probably tick down. Well, I would imagine the next day or so it'll hold steady, actually, around there, around 16.0. I think towards the end of the week and into weekend, it will probably tick down a little bit more again, because we are going to have a bit of a cooler, showery type setup over the weekend. And then in the final days of the month, it may start to hold steady or lift up. So I've got a feeling we're probably going to finish somewhere around 16 in the end with this, around 16.0. Maybe a little bit under, maybe in the upper 15s if we get quite a large downwards correction. But I don't think we will get that bigger downwards correction this month. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's certainly going to be significantly warmer than average. It's going to be our warmest June, I think, probably since 2017. So not since all that long ago, but it's certainly very, very significantly warmer than average a month, no doubt about that. And yeah, so we'll see where that comes in the next week or so. I think how long we've got to end of June? We've got like a week and a bit, haven't we? So it's going to take a little bit longer before we find out where that's coming in. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at London today. So the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off a little bit under average at the moment. It's warm enough by day when in the sunshine, but by night I have had some quite chilly nights this week. I mean, the Met Office was tweeting about the coldest minimum temperature since 2012, I think, the other night, and also going down to frost levels in the Scottish Glens. So how about some quite chilly nights? So that's the reason that the city has come down a little bit over the past few days, of course. So we're holding steady close to or possibly a little bit under average really over the next 3, 4, 5 days. As we come to the end of June and into the early part of July, starting to go above average and seeing the upper air temperatures beginning to lift up. So as we go through the first week of July, we're looking average to actually a bit warmer than average. It looks like things are going to be warming up again right at month's end and through the first week of July. There are some quite warm outliers appearing. Means up here are going back to 15 degrees at 850 HPA. They're hot. They're outliers, but they're hot. You know, if that comes off, we'll be lifting the temperature into the 30s Celsius. More generally, just rather warmer than average. So that's probably a level of upper air temperature where we would lift the surface temperature to like upper 20s Celsius, probably back into the 80s Fahrenheit, but I think in early July is quite likely now. Precipitation wise, the next couple of days looking mainly dry, but things will be getting more unsettled at the end of the week and into the weekend. So heavy showers, maybe some longer spells of rain, and they'll be particularly focused on more southern areas, interestingly, a little bit less so up in the north. First week of July, there are showery there are showery interludes indicated, but not as wet as it will be in the closing days of June, actually. So probably going a little bit drier through the first week of July, if anything. Temperature anomalies from the 21st of June to the 1st of July, a little bit below average in the north, a little bit above that, a little bit below average in the south, I should say, a little bit above average in the north. Normally that'd be the other way around, that's what I got mixed up there. Normally you have to say below average in the north and above average in the south, but we're doing it the other way around in the week ahead. So Scotland and, Scotland, Northern England, a little bit above average, southern parts of England, Wales, a little bit below average. France also with below average temperatures in the week ahead. Precipitation anomalies, again, doing it the wrong way round, really from the 23rd of June to the 1st of July. Northern areas are drier than average, southern areas are wetter than average, so all very, very topsy-turvy. Latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that we're under a ridge today, really, with low pressure out to our north and west, along with west to south westerly winds. Right, so let's have a look at the generic charts then, starting off with UK Met. So we're going to begin at midnight on Friday. We've got a trough of low pressure begin to slip down across the country from the north. So here we go, we've got a trough of low pressure slipping down the country from the north. So into Friday and then into the weekend, it's going to be a case of showers across England and Wales. So could be quite heavy. There's a risk of thunder maybe at times with some of those showery bursts. Drier though with this ridge building into the north. Heading into the early part of next week, we still have this trough close to the south, but we'll bring further showers to southern areas, re-strengthening though across the northern and western parts of the country. And that's a trend through next week, really, up to day 8, which is midnight on Wednesday next week, a week away. Again, this ridge is strengthening through the country, bringing increasingly dry and warm weather. But watch out for this low in the south, could still be bringing a risk of heavy showers and maybe some thunderstorms to southern parts of the country. Shall I turn the webcam on as we go through the generic charts? Why not? There we go. Okay, so let's go through the GFS midnight run then. Again, looking very samey at the end of the week and into weekend with a trough over country. We'll be producing showers on spells of rain. A ridge building out to the northwest should turn things drier in the north and the west. Into Sunday, again, the low pressure is to the south. That will bring showers, if not some longer spells of rain across some parts of the country, but ridge builds, though, in the north, keeping northern areas drier. Into the early part of next week, very little change to the overall pattern. Really further showers in southern areas, a ridge out to the northwest, keeps northwestern areas with the driest of the weather. Now, through the middle and second half of next week, we begin to get rid of that low pressure to the south. We raise the heights then from the Azores. So this is the Azores high, begin to reach towards us through the second half of next week. So we're up to Friday the 2nd of July now. And look at this, we're under high pressure. We've got a ridge of high pressure anyway, building in across the country, bringing increasingly dry and potentially for the south anyway, very warm conditions. And that ridge then strengthens up to and beyond day 10. High pressure sitting right over and slightly to the west of the country, building through UK and Ireland. Loads of dry and warm, if not actually probably quite hot weather coming through with that during the first week. But July, and the high pressure just carries on ridging through. So this is a classic first week to July. I reckon if this comes off, it's probably getting the temperature to 32, 90 Fahrenheit in some parts of the country for the first time this summer. And even right to the very end of the GFS midnight run, which gets us to Friday the 9th of July, that high pressure is still sort of rooted across the country. So very warm and dry through the first week to 10 days of July with the GFS midnight run. Let's have a look at 6Z and see how that compares. This is the very latest one, of course. So, again, Saturday, we've got the trough low pressure for England and Wales. Will bring showers, if not long spells of rain. We keep this trough area of low pressure focused on the south through the weekend into about next week. Showers, long spells of rain, could be thundering down in the south. Driest weather will be up in the north. Through the middle part of next week, we begin to get rid of that trough to the south. We start to get ridge building in from the west, so gradually drying up and becoming warmer through the middle part of next week with the GFS 6Z. Let's run further on and see what happens after that. So we go through to Friday the 2nd of July, and again, high pressure beginning to take over pattern, but still bringing a little bit of a showery sort of northeasterly type flow into eastern parts of the country. And then we get to day 10. Again, just a suggestion of a little bit of low pressure in the southeast, maybe bringing some showers there. Otherwise, most areas are turning drier and warmer. Will we build the high pressure properly with 6Z? Let's see what happens. So we can go a little bit flabby, a little bit weak as we go into the 4th of July. Still a lot of dry and warm weather around with that, but it looks like the 6Z is gradually turning more and setting in the extended range. So lower pressure beginning to develop both to our west and also to our south, probably bringing increasing risk of showers or thunderstorms there for a while. However, we're coming to the 6th of July, the low pressure beginning to slip down to our south. It looks like heights are rising close to the country, so is the 6Z eventually going to pull off a big area of high pressure? It's very inconclusive, but it certainly looks like it's getting hotter through the first week of July, definitely. All looking very slack, and I feel a lot of dry weather is in there, very warm weather as well through the first week of July. It isn't quite the high pressure fest and hot weather that we had with the midnight run, but nevertheless, it's still, first week of July, I think it's still shaping up to be very dry and warm if that comes off, with just like scattered showers probably. GEM looks like that. So again, we've got this little area of low pressure in the south on Saturday. We'll bring showers, long spells of rain to southern areas. Over the weekend, rather cool and showery, especially so in the south. Driest and warmest weather will be in the north. Early next week, we start to get rid of that low pressure. We raise high pressure. We raise the heights over and to the north of the country. So turning increasingly dry and warm and fine as we run into the middle of the second half of next week. This high pressure really takes over with the GEM by day 10, which is Saturday the 3rd of July. Look at that, big Scandinavian high, pulling in what could be quite hot winds from the east. That's looking like a classic sort of hot pattern, getting away from it. Looks like a classic hot pattern with bags of sunshine, winds in from the east, off the continent, where the heat will be building, of course. So I don't see why that shouldn't get temperatures to 30 degrees anyway, 86 Fahrenheit. And then we've got the ECM looking like that. Again, we've got this trough of low pressure bringing showers, long spells of rain to the south. We go over weekend, and we're going to next week, and we still have this trough very close to the south, actually, through the early part of next week. But high pressure is building over the northern half of the country, trying to turn things dry. But the ECM never completely settled things down, actually. And Alabama Mars ECM is perhaps one that's most unsettled today, which is a bit strange, because the ECM has tended to be the one that's been the most settled over the past few days. So as the GFS and the GM have swung towards a drier, warmer first week of July, the ECM is actually the one that's wobbling a little bit. We never seem to get the three, the three of them, or I suppose the UK met the four of them in sync, can we? But anyway, we finish up at day 10 with the ECM on Saturday the 1st of July, looking rather slack, rather flabby, with showers, if not longer spells of rain, and nowhere near as warm as like the midnight GFS or the GM would be at day 10 either. Let's have a look at the precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com. If you're enjoying this video, please smash the like button. By the way, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that, and drop a comment, let us know what you think. So showers or long spells of rain as we come into the second half of this week. There comes some quite big downpours, actually, especially focused on England and Wales, and may carry on into the weekend as well. Early next week, we begin to turn things drier as we try and reach some higher pressure, but never truly getting rid of these showers from the south. They start to come back, actually, as we get towards the middle of next week. Further downpours in the south and the southwest. Many central northern east areas are looking dry, though, through to the middle of next week. But in the south, we always have been showers coming and going, and possibly even merging into longer spells of rain there, for example. That's midnight on the 1st of July, when it's pouring with rain. The other models are nowhere near as unsettled as that, by the way, by the middle and second half next week. So I wouldn't be overly concerned. It might be an outlier, synoptically, or something, the way it just keeps that low pressure hanging around across England and Wales. But certainly quite a wet and rather cooler ECM run compared to all of the other model output as we go into the first week of July there. Right, we'll turn webcam off at that point. We'll have a look at the options on the table in the ECM ensembles. So these are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 via the Icelandic Met Office. It gets us to the 3rd of July. We have 16 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure dominating over to the north of the country and bringing in winds from a very warm easterly direction. That would be in line with like what the GEM is doing, or the midnight GFS. 15 just here again with high pressure well and truly in control of the weather and bringing in the wind from the east. That's going to be another warm, dry scenario. We've got 8. I think that's 8, not 6. We've got 8, including the operational run. That's the run we've just been looking at. That does have high pressure over Scandinavia. It has this low pressure over and to the west and south of the country. So that obviously is a more unsettled scenario compared to like these two in particular. But what you would say about it is that it's only 8 like that unsettled actually at day 10. It's telling us that the ECM operation is probably not all that well supported by its ensembles today. 6 with high pressure again to our north, bringing in warm east winds. There is some lower pressure to the south. That could be a little bit showery still for the south, maybe a little bit thundery. And then 6 with low pressure to the north and high pressure over to the south. That brings the driest, warmest weather into England and Wales. I think the majority option here, the 16 that we have there and the 15 there, are sort of getting us around 30, and they're leading the way, with warm, maybe hot weather into the first week of July. And this ECM operation run today, which is cooler and a little bit more showery, is not particularly well supported by its ensembles. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. We've got 24, which gets to the 8th of July, by the way. We've got 24 members of the ECM ensemble, just looking rather slack, really, across the country. So that might be turning a little bit more unsettled, a little bit thundery. We've got 16 with high pressure, still centred over top of the country. And then we've got 11 with low pressure to our northeast and high pressure to our west-southwest. That'll be turning cooler with a northwesterly, southeasterly type flow. So by the time we get through to the end of the first week of July, we may be starting to break down that ridge. But of course, that's a very, very long way out. Right, we can't show you the CFS-V2 today because it's not updated. I do not know why. But what we will show you, though, is the basic climate sensor, which we haven't looked at for a very long time in terms of the 40-day forecast. So I'll just rattle through this very quickly. So this is going to be, what are we looking at here? We're going to be looking at, it's so long since I've done this, I've forgotten what we're looking at. So, yeah, these are 500 millibar height anomalies break down into 10-day periods, of course. The first 10-day period will take us from the 21st to the 30th of June, with a ridge of high pressure building in from the Atlantic. We should be generally turning things a little bit drier through the final 10 days of June. Weeks, what am I talking about? Weeks, so you see it best. So the next 10-day period will be the 1st to the 10th of July. Above average height centred right over top of the country. Should be mostly dry, fine, and potentially very warm with that. The next 10-day period with Beige Climate Centre will be the 11th to the 20th of July. That will be days 21 to 30, again with high pressure over the country, bringing loads of dry, fine and settled weather. And look at this, days 31 to 40, which will be the 21st to the 30th of July. High pressure ridging in from the Atlantic into Western Europe and Northern Europe as well. It's high pressure all the way. And if this comes off, we're looking at a hot July here. I would even go as far as to say if this raging climate centre run comes off, we're looking at an 18 Celsius CET month. for July, which would be, you know, that's a hot month, definitely, if that comes off. So, you know, we'll wait and see where it's all going, but definitely the evidence is there that early July, anyway, is building up high pressure and turning us increasingly hot, and maybe, you know, that could carry on well into the month, but we shall have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll have a CFS back tomorrow. Right, now, if you enjoyed the video, please smash your like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. And drop a comment, let us know what you think. Tell friends, family, everybody else who subscribe. That's absolutely great. Thank you so much for all of the support. You enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And tomorrow, we're going to have the European Outlook. We have a 10 to 14 day for you as well coming up tomorrow. So plenty on the way. But for today's video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.